Of good hearts and great minds, and lots of people who know each other, maybe some who don't. You have to promise me that before you leave this room, if you look around and see 2 or 3 people you don't know, you should introduce yourselves, say what you're doing. You know, you can leave here with a new friend, a new revolutionary organizing colleague, a new job, a new love affair, you know. And because we're in this room in a unique combination of people that has never happened before in exactly the same way, and can never happen again, probably, in exactly the same way, I've asked if, after I say a few words, that you might also perhaps have announcements of any upcoming troublemaking meetings you think is to know about, or questions. I mean, I'll be glad to answer any question I might be able to. Answers, I can give you some answers. But really, I came here to say thank you. There is no organization in this country or on earth more important than Planned Parenthood. You are bringing about the practical possibility of a freedom that must be added to our fundamental human freedoms, and that is reproductive freedom. You think it was something I said?
Where are you?
Reproductive freedom is as important as freedom of speech, as freedom of assembly. For women, it has a special importance because it is the single greatest determinant of whether we're healthy or not, how long we live, whether we're educated or not, and whether or not we're able to be active in the world outside the home. But it's terribly important for men too. Reproductive freedom includes men. And part of the reason that we coined the term that way was to include the men who were experiencing pressure towards involuntary sterilization, towards all kinds of outrages to human dignity because of race, because of being incarcerated, for all kinds of reasons. So reproductive freedom, the right to have as well as not to have children, really is a fundamental human right. I knew that, of course. I think we've known that for decades and decades. But I don't think I quite understood fully how important Planned Parenthood was as an organization. Well, I certainly understood the services that you provide, because 1 in 3 American women has used those services at some time. I understood that, but until a political campaign in Illinois in which we were trying to defeat a particular gubernatorial candidate who was so anti-choice he would have outlawed abortion even in cases of rape and incest. And a very courageous young woman came forward and said that she, who had been raped, wanted to make an ad, a television ad, against his candidacy because she realized that if he were the governor, she might have been forced to have the child raped. So she stood very courageously on camera and she told her story. And because I was then with Voters for Choice, which some of you might remember, and we were working together with Planned Parenthood in Illinois, we showed this ad to a focus group, since Planned Parenthood could do that, and we didn't have the resources to do that. And the women who saw the ad said, this should not be a public issue, it should not be a political issue. They really disapproved of the ad. And then we said to them, but what if you knew this ad was sponsored by Planned Parenthood? And they said, well, then we trust it. Then we believe it. There is nothing more important in this political atmosphere than a trusted messenger. And Planned Parenthood is the most trusted messenger in the United States. And ever since then, I have always done most of my campaigning with Planned Parenthood. And I hope that you in this room realize the power and credibility that you have as Planned Parenthood to let people know the danger to reproductive freedom, to this fundamental human right. It is a battle that I know, I mean, several of us have been talking beforehand, and many of us have said to each other, we can't believe we're still doing this in 2011, right? But there is a reason why we're still doing this in 2011. It is fundamental. The ability to decide how many workers, how many soldiers, to influence what race or class increases and what does not, is fundamental to authoritarian systems, to male-dominant systems, to racist systems, to religiously biased systems. It is, you know, there's only two fundaments of nationalism. One is territory and the other is population.